Welcome, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to join us for this fraud awareness learning session. Here at Northern Savings, we value and support the financial well-being and financial literacy of our members, clients, and community members. March is Fraud Awareness Month and provides us the perfect opportunity to present some tips on keeping yourself and your accounts safe online. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that our 4 locations, Masset, Prince Rupert, Dajanghese, and Terrace, are situated on the traditional, unceded lands of the Haida people and to traditional territories of the Tsimshian Nation. It is my pleasure to virtually meet you all today. My name is Tyler Boettcher. I am the Chief Information Officer for Northern Savings Credit Union. My team of information technology professionals are responsible for supporting the credit union's vision and mission by delivering strategic information technology solutions and support. This session is going to focus on the following cyber threats: social engineering, password practices, phishing, spear phishing, malware, public Wi-Fi, website spoofing, social media, deposit anywhere and e-transfers, and keeping yourself informed and your technology updated. The amount of cyber attacks occurring globally is rapidly increasing, with financial institutions being particularly attractive target for cyber criminals. This is not only due to the opportunity for criminals to steal and transfer money, but also because of the amount of sensitive and personal information that a financial institution holds. We will begin by understanding what social engineering is. It is a key concept in cybersecurity. Social engineering is a form of attack used by criminals and fraudsters. It focuses on manipulating people into either providing confidential information or straying from their standard security procedures. You can compare social engineering to a type of modern-day con that is simply trying to trick you into doing something that you normally would not do. Some examples of social engineering that hackers use include sending a phishing email to a victim which impersonates a credit union or bank. This email might ask the recipient to sign into what they believe is their online banking portal. In reality, this is a type of social engineering scam where the victim has been tricked into providing their personal banking credentials to a fraudster. Another social engineering example utilizes email tricking victims into opening malicious attachments. Fraudsters will imitate a trusted source and try and spur your curiosity enough for you to open their email. Within this email is an attachment that, if opened, will embed malware that compromises your system and networks. Criminals may also play on people's natural curiosity and try and bait them into plugging malware-infected devices into their workstation. In a company's physical vicinity, criminals may intentionally drop a USB drive with a thought-provoking label such as employee salaries. They hope that a nosy employee picks up the USB drive and plugs it into their computer and unknowingly releases the malware into the company's system. Having weak passwords gives hackers a much easier entry into your system, networks, and internet-based services. Inadequate password practices are a significant vulnerability which puts your information and financial assets at serious risk. These strong password tips can be easily implemented to significantly improve your online security. Never write down or record your passwords on your devices. The exception to this is when you're using an encrypted password manager. This is an application that allows you to store your passwords in a secure manner. Your passwords should always be complicated, utilizing a combination of lower and uppercase letters, numbers, and special characters. Avoid using the very common and simple passwords such as the actual word password, seasons and years such as winter 2022 or spring 2023. Don't use easily guessed number sequences, birth dates, or anniversary dates. And don't use keyboard sequences such as QWERTY or ASDFG. For stronger password security, you can try using a phrase that you can easily remember but is unique to you and complicated to guess. It's also important that you don't reuse old passwords and don't use the same password for different accounts. Ideally, you will have a different password for each account and service that you utilize. This will prevent the contagion effect, where a single compromised password impacts multiple services or accounts, thereby magnifying the damage and loss. Finally, passwords should never be shared, even with trusted work colleagues or friends. A legitimate company or financial institution employee will never ask you for your password. Malware is a term that is short for malicious software. Hackers insert malware and remote monitoring technology into email attachments. When these attachments are opened, your computer is infected and may be accessed remotely. Hackers are now potentially able to access your networks, take over your computer, and steal your information. Network and technology teams need to constantly monitor and adjust corporate firewalls to counter this threat. If you're a personal home or small business user of technology, you likely do not have active monitoring of your firewall hardware, and therefore you need to ensure that you have adequate and regularly updated anti-malware software to alert you to these threats. Some examples of malware include viruses, trojans, spyware such as keyboard logging and remote access tools, and ransomware. Be cautious with the emails you interact with. This could include email that may appear to originate from well-known contacts, but it may be spoofed, making you believe that it's a friend or a colleague, but it is fraudulent instead. Malicious software can be hidden in common types of files like Word documents, PDF documents, zip files, images, and videos, just to name a few examples. It can also be triggered through simply clicking on malicious links and URLs. What is clickbait? Clickbait is really exactly what it sounds like. It is an effort to bait you into taking action, clicking a link, looking at an advertisement, opening a file, or otherwise convincing you that what you're seeing is so interesting that you need to see more of it. Phishing is a type of social engineering where fraudsters are trying to collect your sensitive information to use for financial gain or other malicious purposes. Fraudsters try and obtain your trust and thus your information by imitating a legitimate institution or person. The most common form of phishing is via email, but phone calls and text messages are used for phishing schemes as well. Phishing scams are one of the most common cyber threats you will face. It is a very popular tactic for hackers. Common examples of phishing scams include fraudsters imitating a financial institution, telling you something has changed about your account, pretending to be a money transfer service, telling you that you have received an email money transfer, or trying to imitate a major online retailer, asking you to verify your account and credit card information. In all of these scenarios, the fraudsters want you to click their link or attachment and provide your information. This information will be harvested for malicious reasons. This is why it's important not to reuse passwords and not to use the same password for personal and credit union accounts. If you do this and fall victim to a phishing scam, all of your accounts are potentially compromised. Look for some of these red flags to help you spot suspicious and potentially fraudulent emails. Always be wary of unsolicited emails from unknown senders. Ask yourself, who is this person or organization? Why have they seemingly contacted me out of the blue? Does it make sense that they have contacted me? Exercise caution with unsolicited emails from known or recognizable senders. Remember, in order to build trust, the fraudsters will imitate recognizable companies, brands, organizations, or even colleagues. If these unsolicited emails ask you to provide sensitive information, such as account credentials, credit card information, passwords, or other financial information, stay clear. Never provide sensitive information until you have independently investigated and confirmed the legitimacy of that email. Many phishing scams originate outside of Canada, where English may be used as a second language. Spelling and grammar mistakes are also an indication that an email in question is not legitimate. If the email appears to be from a large or recognizable organization, it should certainly not have spelling mistakes or grammar mistakes contained within it. Check the email address. Does it look legitimate? Does it look like it has been spoofed or altered? Fraudsters will impersonate legitimate email addresses by making very small changes, such as changing one letter or one character in the email address. Also, if an email address contains a link, hover your mouse over it. Don't click the link, just hover and take a look at the website address that pops up. Does it match the website address in the email? Is this pop-up website unknown or does it look suspicious? Fraudsters will provide legitimate-looking website links that actually direct you to malicious sites. Finally, fraudsters will often try and build a sense of urgency into the email. The email will try to get you to react quickly by stating things such as, your account has been compromised. Your account will be closed if you do not respond. You are going to miss out on a prime opportunity, or other urgent situations of the like. Also remember these phishing red flags to help you spot potentially dangerous emails and email attachments. Unsolicited contact. asking for sensitive information, spelling and grammar mistakes, questionable email addresses, questionable links, a sense of urgency, and for senders you personally know, unusual email context. Now let's take a look at spear phishing. This is a variation of your standard phishing scheme. Standard phishing campaigns are usually distributed to a mass amount of individuals. The hackers hope that they trick at least a few of the many. It's a sheer numbers game. The content of these emails are usually generic in nature as the hackers are trying to appeal to this mass audience. Spear phishing is a much more targeted attack. A victim is identified, and the hackers likely have a very specific goal in mind. They customize an email that will personally appeal to the targeted individual. A lot of research is done in advance by scouring the target's social media profiles and other online sources. They will also research your friends, family, and known associates and craft the email to appear to be from somebody you know. These attacks are much more likely to succeed than the standard phishing attack, as the personalization makes these emails more believable. So how do you avoid falling victim to phishing and spear phishing and malicious attachments? It is important to think before you click and use common sense. If something seems weird about the email, its content, context, or who it's coming from, err on the side of caution. Don't let curiosity get the best of you. That's where cyber criminals are hoping for. Some phishing emails are very easy to spot, while others are more difficult to identify. If you want to verify the legitimacy of a suspicious email or attachment, do so by other means. Never reply back to the suspicious email, as you may be contacting the fraudster directly. If you don't know the sender, do some research. If it's an organization, search online for a phone number and give them a call. You can also search online and check to see if this is a known phishing scam. There may be consumer warnings or even warnings from the organization that is being imitated. Still, verify the legitimacy of a suspicious email, even if you personally know the sender. Your family, friends, or associates' email account could have been compromised or imitated. If you have been targeted by a spear phishing attack, remember that the hacker may try to imitate people or organizations you know. If something seems odd or the content of the email isn't consistent with your past correspondence, call or text your contact to verify the legitimacy of that email. Don't authenticate by responding back to that email account. We'll now take a look at some of the risks of connecting to a public Wi-Fi network and how you can protect yourself when hooking up to these hotspots. Hackers are able to utilize various programs and devices to compromise public and free Wi-Fi networks. These Wi-Fi networks can be unsecure, which means they are free and open for all to use. Once the hackers have compromised the public Wi-Fi network, they can perform what is known as a person-in-the-middle attack. A person-in-the-middle attack allows for the hackers to intercept the data and information that is passed through a public Wi-Fi network. Think of it as there be between you and the legitimate Wi-Fi connection, spying on your internet activity and the information you send. Hackers can also distribute malware to those who have connected to the compromised public Wi-Fi network. You can protect yourself while connected to public Wi-Fi networks by thinking twice before sharing sensitive information, financial information, and passwords while you're connected to that Wi-Fi network. Turn off the Wi-Fi setting on your device when you're not trying to connect to a network. Most devices have an automatic connection setting which actively looks to connect to hotspots. The Wi-Fi hardware in your device could still be interacting with surrounding networks even though you aren't specifically trying to connect. One of the safest ways to connect to a public Wi-Fi network is to use a virtual private network, known as a VPN. When using a VPN, all of the information and data that you're sending through the network is encrypted. This keeps your information secure. There are countless providers of VPN services, with some being much better than others. If you're going to utilize a VPN, do your research before choosing one. Another common cyber threat is website spoofing. Website spoofing happens when the computer users are directed to a fraudulent website. These spoofed websites are designed to closely imitate legitimate and recognizable websites, such as major online retailers or financial institutions. These websites have been designed with the purpose of stealing and harvesting sensitive information. On well-designed spoofs, criminals will be spending significant time and resources on creating a near-perfect replica of a legitimate site. If you fall victim to a spoofed website, any sensitive information that you enter can be harvested and abused. An example of this with a spoofed online retail website. You may think you're going through a standard online shopping transaction and making a legitimate purchase, but your credit card and personal information is being stolen as you go through the phony checkout process. The website may also ask you to create a new account that requires your email address and a password. This reiterates the importance of strong password practices, as if you reuse passwords between all of your personal and work accounts, you and your credit union could be left exposed to further fraud. One of the most basic protections against a website spoofing attack is to check for a few security measures in the website address bar. When sharing personal information, look for HTTPS in the website address. This HTTPS means that the site is using a secure connection. You should never share personal information over an HTTP website, which means it is unsecured. Also check to see if the name of the company is spelled correctly or if there are any additional characters in the website address. When trying to imitate a website, hackers may slightly alter the website name or address in order to appear bona fide. As an example, if somebody was trying to spoof www.cooperators.ca, they may add an extra P in the hopes that people don't notice. Also look for padlocks or green address bars in your browser window. These are also indicators that the website is secured, and a green bar indicates that enhanced verification has occurred related to the site's security certificate. Key takeaways. Strong password policies are simple and effective. Think before you click on suspicious emails or attachments. Research and verify the email through other channels if necessary. Never provide sensitive information through unsolicited contact. Never send sensitive information through unsecured public Wi-Fi networks. Never log into banking on an unsecured network. Start reviewing website addresses to look for indications of a secure connection. Never plug unknown devices into your computer. Cryptocurrency refers to any form of currency that exists digitally or virtually and uses cryptography to secure the transactions. Cryptocurrencies do not have essential issuing or regulatory authority, and instead use a decentralized system to record transactions and issue new units. Cryptocurrencies run on a distributed public ledger called blockchain. This is a digital record of all transactions updated and held by currency holders. Unfortunately, as cryptocurrency increases in popularity, it becomes a high-value target for cybercriminals. Some cryptocurrency scams follow the lines of what we have discussed so far today. Fake crypto website scams are bogus sites which feature fake testimonials and crypto jargon promising massive guaranteed returns, providing you keep investing. Virtual Ponzi schemes are where criminals promote non-existent opportunities to invest in digital currencies and create the illusion of huge returns by paying off old investors with new investors' money. Celebrity endorsements. Scammers pose as online billionaires or well-known names who promise to multiply your investment in a virtual currency, but instead steal what you send. Once they have encouraged enough investors to buy and have driven up the price, the scammers sell their stake and the currency reduces in value. Romance scams. Fraudsters persuade people they meet on online dating apps or social media to invest or trade in virtual currencies. This has accounted for hundreds of millions in fraud in 2022 alone. Retirement scams include fraudulent sales pitches for individual retirement accounts in cryptocurrencies. And simple cryptocurrency hacking, where criminals break into the digital wallets where people store their virtual currency to steal it. Once your crypto key is compromised, your currency is likely to be wiped out without recourse. According to Consumer Reports, all investments carry risk, but experts consider cryptocurrency to be one of the riskier investment choices out there. If you're planning to invest in cryptocurrencies, the following tips can help you make educated choices. Research the exchanges. Before you invest, learn about cryptocurrency exchanges. It's estimated there are over 500 exchanges to choose from. Do your research, read reviews, and talk with experienced investors before moving forward. Know how to store your digital currency. If you buy cryptocurrency, you have to store it. You can keep it in an online exchange or in a digital wallet. While there are different kinds of wallets, each has its benefits, technical requirements, and security. As with exchanges, you should investigate your storage choices before investing. Diversify your investments. Diversification is always key to a good investment strategy. And of course, prepare for volatility. The The cryptocurrency market is highly volatile, so be prepared for dramatic ups and downs. Social media has become the new town square. It brings people together, and wherever a lot of people go, fraudsters take notice. What becomes a popular gathering place will ultimately become a popular target for cyber criminals. Consider how much of your life is available for all to see on your social networks. Keep your socials private. Watch for scams, giveaways, contests, or surveys. Look out for what seems to be too good to be true. Avoid the clickbait. Be cautious of who you accept as friends or contacts, and avoid oversharing. Before we move to the next slide, I'd like you to consider the following question. Which activity, technology tool, or platform has the highest rate of cyber fraud? As you can see here, Facebook dramatically eclipses all other types of cyber fraud. Given Facebook provides a place to integrate billions of people in a digital social marketplace, it has become the target of choice for fraudsters and cyber criminals worldwide. It's also important to note that many of the most successful cyber criminal enterprises are state-funded, meaning they are backed by some foreign governments. What is the most common type of fraud that our members experience with online banking? When considering the types of fraud method that Northern Savings encounters, you can see here that cyber fraud is by far the most significant method of fraud that we encounter. This is eclipsing fraud related to member or credit cards, checks, deposit anywhere, or telephone fraud. Deposit anywhere. Deposit with caution. Be sure to use the actual physical check, the original paper check. You cannot use a photo received in an email, a photocopy, or a PDF file as a valid check. Never deposit a check for someone else. Look out for red flags indicating that a check might not be valid, such as spelling errors, one signer when two are required, out-of-country banks, etc. If you're unsure if a check is legitimate, bring it into your branch. We'd be happy to help you out. Know the telltale signs of fraudulent funds transfer communications. Read the message carefully. Never share your security information or interact with a potential transfer outside of your internet banking platform. If you feel you've been scammed with an e-transfer, immediately change your internet banking passwords and call your financial institution. Forward any suspected fraudulent e-transfer communications to the following address: phishing@interac.ca. Most importantly, if you receive an unsolicited email, text message, phone call, or any other communication related to an e-transfer from somebody you do not know, or claiming to offer an insurance rebate, CRA tax refund, a refund of an overpayment of any kind, or any other type of transfer, be skeptical. Always verify. Verify an e-transfer source by calling the party directly. This will protect you from fraud. Hardware and software security updates are of paramount importance when you're utilizing a laptop, a computer, or even a mobile device. Use the automated tools provided by your hardware manufacturers. If you're not technically savvy, avoid out-of-brand hardware. White label PCs might be a little bit less expensive, but they're also made up of individual components that are very difficult to update, as you might have to search for security patches or updates manually. Set Windows or Mac operating systems to regularly check for security updates and patches and set it to update automatically. And set a periodic reminder to check for the patching and update status yourself, or hire a consultant to potentially or periodically check your security posture and vulnerability management state. Also, it's good to consider the elements that make a good antivirus and anti-malware solution. Not all antivirus software is created equal, so there are many factors to consider. Ask yourself, what features will I use? What devices and operating systems does this software protect? Does it protect cell phones and tablets? Does it protect against threats while browsing the internet or while online banking? Does it identify fraudulent websites? Does it filter and protect my email account? Can the software protect my whole family? Does it detect and respond to threats, or does it detect them only? Does it self-manage and update automatically? Does it include a VPN service or virtual private network application or password manager? Does it scan the dark web for threats? Not all of these topics will be covered by all of the antivirus products out there, so do your research. As owners and operators of our technology devices, we have a responsibility to maintain the level of awareness of risks of utilizing the technology. Following the advice presented here will hopefully allow you to all safely utilize technology and avoid becoming a victim to cyber criminals and fraudsters. We are all our own first line of defense against cyber attacks. There are a multitude of great sources of information that will help you stay safe online. Feel free to search for any of the sources listed here or consult our website at www.northsave.com for more resources. Thank you for taking the time today to participate in this presentation. I hope you're all able to take away some valuable information for use in your efforts to stay safe online and protect yourself from cyber fraud. Take care.